Hello everyone and welcome to the 11th episode of our Orizon campaign. I am your lovely, incredible, wonderful DM, Doma, with my 3, not 4 players. Unfortunately, this time around, let's get into those names. Starting with everybody's lovely, plucky gnome, Grafford, being played by the wonderful @thegentleman_Yosh, without the E on Twitter.
Which one? You'll never know.
True. Up next, we've got our lovely, nature-loving, ferret-cuddling, sorceress, spell-casting, flinging, adjective, Asimar, a blue flan on Twitter, and other social places like Instagram and whatnot. And our other Asimar, tinkerer of mechanical wonders and harbinger of darker times to come, as we've seen in the past, Raldir.
Always last, but never least.
And the 4th member of our show, the lizard man that you see up in the top left of the screen right now, is usually played by our very wonderful Alex, or Matoid Mortician on Twitter, who plays Yizit, but unfortunately he was not able to join us today. And if you didn't really catch all of those Twitter handles or those socials links, you can go down into the Twitch panels below and look at all that stuff, and then follow people so you can get announcements about what we're doing. Sometimes we reach out to the community and try and bring people in for some very special sessions, one-shots. Maybe you can get yourself on one of the shows. You should just be on the lookout for that kind of thing and go and be notified of that stuff with our notification peoples on our socials. As well as, if you want to be part of the Discord and you aren't already, you can go ahead and scroll down and click on the Discord icon, and you will be receiving a link to join the Discord. Just make sure that you say what show you came in from, so that way we can give you the appropriate roles, and we can get everything all sorted out and bring you into our community. Or if you're here from our learner program that has been recently announced as DDU, sharing initials with our channel, our entertainment group, that would be D&D University. A program that we've just recently started to bring in people who want to learn how to play D&D, want to learn how it is to be a part of a role-play group in a tabletop setting, and we'll show them the ropes, show them the basics, guide them every step along the way, so that way we can get them a little more comfortable and familiar, and make some great friends and even greater memories. More information about that will be coming out later on. So if you want to be completely up to date with the information that is coming out about that program, you should go ahead and, hey, that's weird. If you want to know things, follow us on our socials, because we're always talking about stuff like that. Let's see. Our other announcements are last week. On Saturday, we had a very special guest join us for our Draenora campaign. That episode of the show, episode 10 of our In the Shadows of the Castle Wall arc, was featuring Joe from his own podcast, playing the incredibly quirky, we'll say, High Elf Barbarian. That was a lot of fun and a lot of great entertainment, and if you want to go and watch that episode, it is currently up on our YouTube channel, and if you don't know how to get there, you can just go ahead and scroll down into the Twitch panels, and I believe that there is a link there that will take you to the channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, if you click on the channel icon, you can go to the Draenora campaign playlist, and it'll be right there for you to watch. Oh, that's so incredible and amazing and wonderful, isn't it? So, I believe that is everything, announcements out of the way. For those of you that are new and just barely joining us for the first time, and this is your sort of exposure to who we are and what we do, we are D&D Universe, and we produce 2 shows, our Orizon campaign, which you are watching right now, and our Draenora campaign. If you're watching this live on Twitch, we stream Thursdays and Saturdays at 5:30 CST. So you can go ahead and stop by and say hello and get the fresh content as soon as it's being made. Let's see. I think that's everything. Oh wait, no, it's not, because if you're looking at the screen right now instead of just listening, I know you're just listening. If you're just listening, look at the screen for just a second, and you'll see these 4 beautiful busts that were drawn by our incredible artist. If you are watching us on Twitch, you can go ahead and scroll down into the Twitch panels and click on the artist icon to be taken to their website, so you can get some information about their commissions or just check out the stuff they do. I know they write a comic, and it's really, really good. It's really, really interesting. She's a very, very talented artist, and you should go and support her. She also drew all of the busts for our Draenora campaign. Now, I feel that I have been blabbing on and on and on and on and on and on. So, did I miss anything?
No,
Not
but you
to
were
my
blabbing.
knowledge.
No. By the way, the artist is great. I love her. Ugh.
Yes, the artist is incredible. We all love her very, very much. All right, then. Without further ado, I believe it's time for Last Time on Orizon D&D. Our heroes, departing from the Beholded Reserve under the rather forceful commands of the founder of the Beholded Reserve, Saron Kuldan, ordered Raldir to return to his homeland in southern Mali, a hidden elven city by the name of Iron Grove, hidden in a valley protected by a magical forest that shifted in place anytime that you looked away from it, eternally trapping you within the labyrinth, save for those accompanying a member of the royal family, where their signet ring, the mark of their royalty, protected them from such mischievous plant life. After traveling for several months by airship across the oceans from the floating island of the Behold Reserve, they landed within the vicinity of southern Mali and made their way to the ringed city of Iron Grove, protected by giant towering oak trees, all in a ring in the center of a valley. The group made their way into the city, whereupon they were immediately met with a welcoming that did not feel so warm. Immediately being pulled to the side by his sister, of all people, Raldir was whisked away from his fellow party members as they were being apprehended, as some miscommunication had unfolded. As we continue forward, the party was taken in bondage, we'll say, to the crown jewel of Iron Grove, the castle. Upon entering the courtroom, the welcome of the prince himself, Raldir, was rather grand, though his allies not so much. After being separated, the two groups from one another, we will be picking up our story with our prisoners, we'll say. So, friends, you are being hauled away from the courtroom, back out through the main doors, not out of the castle walls, but instead past the courtyard into a sort of side area. It takes 6 of these men to lift the incredible, huge figure that is Yizit. And you are all brought into this large chamber with several lined what appear to be cells, with a couple of tables nearby, as each of you are being escorted and surrounded by these vines that have been grasping your body as you are essentially thrown into the cages opposite from each other, Grafford and Piton. Yizit is taken somewhere deeper within, and you don't really get to see quite where they did end up putting him. A few moments later, and by moments I mean minutes, the group of 6 elves returns, and Yizit is not with them. So, the floor is yours.
So are the guards like nearby to see, like look into the cells or no?
Make a perception check.
I'll look too.
Okay.
Just throw with advantage.
Yeah.
It's an 18.
Throw again.
I have to throw.
Yeah, he's helping you, so you get advantage. One more perception check.
I can't tell.
Take the higher.
18.
18. All right. So as you're looking around, after everything has been said and done and you've been appropriately locked up, the vines begin to shrink from your bodies as the guards that have been focusing and concentrating on the spell have moved away from you. And from your current viewpoint, you can see one fully armored elf patrolling up and down the cells, and then another one sitting on a stool, and then one sitting at one of the tables that you'd seen when you were walking in, or rather, being carried in.
So, what did you see?
I see 3 guards. I could try to distract them, and then we can somehow make an escape.
I don't think that would be the wisest thing to do.
That's all I can think of as of right now.
That'd be like starting a war in enemy territory. That's not the best option we've got right now.
Alright. Do you see anything that might be able to help us?
Suddenly, the sort of silence, save for the conversation that the two of you are having, is broken by what sounds like thunder booming. Which is strange, seeing as it was relatively clear skies above the valley. It sounds as if lightning had struck in the room next door.
What was that?
I don't know, but it's anything far from good.
Can I?
Grafford, make a history check.
Can do.
Nat 1.
You are perplexed by what this could be.
Which is unfortunate.
I want
Plus 8 to int.
I want to try it, but at the same time, I don't want to try it.
Well, I only had him make it for a specific reason. Otherwise, I would have told both of you. So.
Okay.
I don't have
Can I
any
look?
of the slightest clue what that could have been.
Can I look around and maybe see if I'm able to see what happened?
None of the guards are physically reacting to the sound, but there was sort of a bit of a head tilt from each of them in the direction. But they don't seem to be too worried. And they continue going about their business. The one patrolling up and down the cells, and then the other two sitting down.
Okay. It seems like they don't know either.
They didn't give it too much mind, which is a bit relieving, honestly.
Yes, but I still wonder what it could be.
I agree.
Do you see anything that might be able to help us get out?
I might be able to help you get out. You hear a voice from the cell to the left of yours, Grafford. The guard that has been patrolling is currently at the far end, opposite of where you are, near the beginning.
How do you figure?
I've been in here long enough to know all the ins and outs.
Then why haven't you gotten out?
So, Piton, from your perspective, you see a grizzled old dwarf with a long beard that is terribly kept, wearing very, very little clothing to almost none at all. Rather stout, but well-muscled, with several scars across his body. And he wears a bit of cloth as a sort of bandage over one of his eyes.
Who are you?
Name's Adric.
I see.
Well, that don't matter.
So how exactly can we get out?
He nudges his head in the direction of the patrolling guard and then makes a motion with his hand, putting his finger to his mouth, and then he walks away from the bars back towards the sort of more open space of the cell and stays quiet.
I'm just gonna give a small moment.
May I ask, how much is still on my person?
Yes, that is very important. You have been stripped clean of all your belongings.
Fair. We are imprisoned. I'm just gonna keep quiet until the guard passes.
Same.
So, the guard makes his round, comes up a bit, but as he's making his way back, he turns his head towards the dwarf for a split second. Go ahead and make a perception check, Grafford.
Okay. Natural 20.
Min-maxing over here, 1 to 20. It's very difficult to see, but you can see between the slits in the helmet, and you see this sort of death glare from the guard over towards the cell next to you. And you can see, because it's a natural 20, this look of contempt. But he continues without breaking the motion of his pace. Piton, you see Adric kind of nodding his head, seemingly counting, counts to 4, and then comes back up to the bars.
I'm just gonna watch for now.
Okay, so he's out of the way now.
I would say you have about 10 seconds. It's not a very big holding area.
Okay.
It's pretty temporary.
I will try to repeat my question one last time.
What'd that be?
How exactly can we get out?
You... As you're watching Adric, you see that his motions are very precise. There is no lack of confidence in these motions that he's using to communicate. Make a general intelligence check, because he's doing a lot of those silent kind of like hand motions that you use like when you're robbing a bank, and it looks like a lot of Like the first one is like eyes, and then it's like something that's like a bird or something. Like it's hard to.
20.
Well, apparently it's not too hard to tell because you understand exactly what he's trying to get across.
Just suddenly midway through 20.
All right. Unnatural 20, though. Do point that out.
Unfortunate.
So he's being completely silent after the sort of look that he was given. And as he's sort of miming this information out towards you, he's getting the plan across. He reveals the information that these guards swap out positions every 2 hours. But on the third rotation, which is the 6th, after the 6th hour, the janitorial staff sort of come in and begin to clean the cages that have been recently emptied. Though with this, then it starts to get a little bit more complicated, but you don't lose track of what he's getting across. He explains through hand motions alone that each of you will individually be taken from the cells into a different area to be interrogated. And that's about all that he can get out before the guard makes his way back.
But only Patan could see this.
Only Patan could see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Not.
As soon as the guard passes, I'm gonna nod my head towards the door, and I'm gonna relay the information to Grafford.
Using hand motions?
Yes.
Make an intelligence check, Grafford.
Let's make an intelligence check, fellas. Yeah, 7.
All right, so it looks like she's recently taken up interpretive dance. And it makes no sense to you, even though you are a man of art and culture. This is horrendous, and you have no idea what's going on. You are confused.
I'm just gonna...
Like, just applaud confusedly.
Yeah.
I'm going to give off just a very disappointed sigh.
Okay. Well, that sigh is sort of cut a little bit short as the guard that was sitting on the stool stands up and you hear the door open. Some light conversation. Do either of you understand Elvish?
Nope.
I don't think I do. No,
Oh.
I don't.
So they are having a back and forth in their native tongue, and you hear like "Utrali, hakte," and then the guard that was pacing between the cells rushes forward, and you see 3 new guards come in.
Okay.
One starts to pace once again. Apparently, it's been the first rotation.
Okay. 2 more rotations to go.
So not too much time passes before a new person enters through the door. Patan, from your point of view, you can see who it is. It's this elvish figure in these sort of white robes that have just the ever slightest hint of silver that kind of dances along the hem. This elvish woman steps forward and begins to speak in Elvish to the guard that had taken up post on the stool. Thereafter, that guard approaches you, Patan, your cell. One thing that you would have noticed during your capture, I guess we can call it, was that these cells have no keys. and the bars aren't quite bars made of metal, but rather, upon closer inspection, seem to be these dark blue, very thick and cold vines. And as the guard walks up to it, he puts a hand out, and it begins to radiate with a sort of greenish color. And a opening, like an archway, begins to open up. And he makes a motion, not really looking in your direction, to tell you to get out.
I'm gonna look at Grappers for a second before I walk out. Yeah, I guess.
I'll shoot her a thumbs up.
That becomes a thumbs down.
Oh.
So, you are then led by this white-robed figure, and as soon as you make your way outside, you see two other guards that were waiting on either side of the entrance that immediately take up position on your left and right as you are being escorted to this sort of what almost seems like a cellar door that you would see on the side of a house. It is opened up by both of the guards, and the white-robed figure kind of gestures down towards the stairs that lead down into this area.
I'm just gonna keep following.
All right. Then it is time for us to leave the group as you are being interrogated. So,
This is very scary.
you begin to make your way down the stairs, expecting some sort of basement full of barrels or crates, similar to some of the inns that you've been in your past. Instead, you see a completely empty stone room. And in the center of the stone room, you see this sort of luminescent crystal hanging from a string above a table with a stool on either side. And as you make your way in, the white-robed figure follows behind you, and then the two guards after that close the cellar. And for the first time, you hear the white-robed figure speak.
Prisoner, please take a seat on the other side of the table.
I will do as she says, but I will remain silent for now.
So as you make your way to the other side of the table, this white-robed figure walks along the edge of the table on the other side across from you, but doesn't quite sit down. Make a general charisma check.
$18.
All right. So you begin to feel like you're losing your nerve as something about you kind of falters for a second, but then you realize you haven't done anything wrong. You'll be fine, you tell yourself.
Hopefully.
So after a moment of kind of looking you over and staring you down, the white-robed figure takes a seat on the other side of the stool, which is slightly taller than yours, it would seem. Kind of forcing you to look up towards the face.
Now first, let's get some things out of the way. My name is Adra. What is yours?
I am Baton.
Say again, but louder.
I am Baton.
All right. Now tell me, what business do you have in Iron Grove that would require you to have been accompanying the young prince?
I am a part of his group from the Beholder Reserve. I have come here to help him do something.
And what would that task be?
I know what the task is, right?
I believe so. Yes, he said so out loud in front of everybody.
We have come here on his behalf to burn the blueprints to his thunder cannon, which he was ordered to do.
Pitan, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
You speak of nonsense, of cannons that spit thunder.
I do not, ma'am.
This is not a thing that exists in our world. Now, you will tell me the truth, or you will be executed by law of our lands.
Ma'am, it's true. If you ask the young prince, he would say yes. I think. I don't know exactly if he's told anyone about it, but I'm not the person that you should be asking about this cannon or whatever it is.
She gives you this look of just disbelief. You can tell that she is not believing a word that you're saying. Moving on to the next set of questions. Why have you brought a lizard man into the city walls? And how was this possible that you knew the young prince?
He's a part of the Beholder Reserve as well, as of recently, I believe. The alligator, he's a part of our group, I believe as well. We had to bring him.
Young lady, the Beholder Reserve and its members are to be respected for their confidence and knowledge. You show neither. I grow weary of these falsehoods. You will begin to tell the truth, or it will start to get painful for you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how did you arrive in southern Mali?
We took an airship here and we crash landed.
About whereabouts did you crash?
I don't quite remember, madam. I was knocked unconscious during the crash.
How many are in your group?
4 if you include the young prince.
Now I have but one final question before we continue. Does the name The Unfaltering Flame mean anything to you?
I do not know of it, ma'am.
Make a persuasion check.
14.
Give me a moment to get my secret dice.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a small pause after you say that you don't know anything about the Unfaltering Flame. Then her hand goes up and she says something in Elvish. And one of the other guards walks over and reaches into a pouch on his belt between the folds in his full plate armor and takes out a small little ring. Aedra then takes the ring and slides it across the table until it's square in the center of the both of you. It's a rather plain looking ring made of what you assume to be silver or some silvery type metal that is just a band. There is no sort of embellishment, engraving, gemstone, just a simple silver band.
What is this for, madam?
If you decide that you don't feel like telling me anything, then this band will assist me in preventing such a scenario. Now, who is the leader of your group?
Can you repeat? Because it was laggy for a moment.
This band will assist me in preventing the scenario that you decide that you don't wish to speak and answer the questions that I ask. Now, who is the leader of your group?
So I have to put the ring on, right?
She hasn't made any command for you to put it on yet. It just rests in the center between the both of you.
Okay. Well, out of my good mind, I guess I don't know how to say it, but I will put it on and I will say, his name is Grapper. He was the gnome of our group.
You say his name is Grafford.
Yes, ma'am.
She ponders for a moment and looks away from you for the first time in this conversation, and then immediately trains her eyes back on you. Piton,
Yes, ma'am.
you must promise me something to be able to walk away with this with your life.
What is it, ma'am?
The city, or rather, kingdom, of Iron Grove has many enemies, and if you disclose the information about the location of our city, you will be hunted down and killed with our most powerful and skilled hunters. Do you understand?
I understand. I would do no such thing, madam.
Now, in regards to the Beast Man, he will be kept in detainment for failure of cooperation. Now, you will be escorted back to your cell, and we will question your so-called leader, and a judgment will be passed before the sun hits the canopy. And then she says something else in Elvish, and the cellar doors on the opposite side of the room kind of open up, and another two guards come in, and they begin to escort you back towards the cell. Alright. So, Piton enters once again into this holding area with the cells, though this time there is no white-robed figure. And instead of being tossed into the cell as she was before, the entrance is opened up and she walks in of her own free will. Then the same guard who opens the cell for Piton turns and opens yours, Grafford.
I'll go ahead and walk out and wait for the guard.
He kind of pushes you in front of him, and you see another guard kind of in front of you. You are sandwiched between the both of them now, and you are being escorted out of this area, back into the courtyard, off to the right towards what appear to be cellar doors. And they're opened up, and you're kind of rushed in, roughly, and being pushed on your back to go down the stairs into this room.
Oh.
Say again?
Okay.
So, as you enter, you see a white-robed figure sitting on a stool with an empty seat across the way from a table. And As you make your way in, at the bottom of the stairs, you see 2 guards posted on either side of the stairs, and you hear a voice. Come, prisoner. Take your seat. And we will begin the questioning.
All right. I'll go ahead and sit down.
So you make your way across the room. It's very, very far from the entrance, actually. And you sit across the way. It is rather dark in this subterranean area, save for a luminous crystal of this sort of dull purple color, radiating light being hung from a string above the center of the table. First of all, my name is Adra. What is yours?
My name is Grafford Destator.
That lines up with what your compatriot said, so we're off to a good start. Unless you have cohorted earlier and come up with fake names. Now, as I am informed, or rather in the knowing of, it has been made very apparent to me that you are part of the Beholded Reserve.
Yes, I am a captain there.
Yes, of course you are. Our armed forces are going through your belongings as we speak, and if we do find any sort of evidence of your belonging or attachment to the reserve, then it will greatly aid in your final decision of your innocence or guiltiness, respectively. Now, to assist yourself in this process, I will be asking you a number of questions.
Go right ahead.
First of all, what is your attachment to the young prince? And why did you bring a monster into our city?
Those two, well, the prince and the monster, are both assigned to my squadron.
Before you continue, let us operate on information that does not regard the Beholded Reserve, as I have no inclination to believe what you say, and that you hold such a prestigious position until we examine your belongings and find evidence thereof. So I will let you know now that information pertaining to that as a usage to further your innocence in this predicament should be left unused. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, you do.
Now then, I'm going to ask you again. What is your attachment to the young prince? And why did you bring a monster into the city?
They are, as you could call them, acquaintances. I met the young prince stranded in a desert. And as for the beast, I can't really say other than it's information pertaining which you didn't want.
Information that I feel I am obligated to tell you about your companion, that being the Beast Man. He will be detained until the end of your stay, whether it be ended shortly hereafter or later on. He will be staying with us in a very special cell designed to keep him from running wild and harming our citizens, as he has already exhibited non-cooperative action.
That one is a bit to handle, yes.
Now then, you say that you had met the young prince in a desert. Upon which
That is
continent was this?
Can I make a history check?
You may.
Because I can't remember for the life of me. 26.
Starts with a U.
I see. I understand.
Let me check my
Urer.
notes. Yeah, Urer, yes.
If I am not mistaken, I met him on the continent of Urur.
So you are saying that the young prince had acquired passage across the world to get to Urur. And that is where you had met him.
That is correct.
Right. Now then, moving on. Due to the nature of our political system, I am obligated to tell you that as a result of being an outsider, having stepped into our city that is very well hidden by magical and physical means, that you now possess the knowledge of how to find it and enter it. Now, if, let's say, you do end up being found innocent, if you disclose this information to anyone, you will be hunted down, killed, and skinned by our most skilled and powerful hunters. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
You will receive no compensation for this hush. You will only be living with the knowledge that you are being watched everywhere you go from now on. And then she pauses for a moment. This whole time she has not taken her eyes off of yours. And she is pretty tall compared to you. You have to look up quite a bit.
Okay.
Make a general charisma check.
Okay. An 8.
You are physically intimidated. Her presence is very commanding, and you can tell that the power that she wields, she does so well. She eyes you up and down. And after a moment, the cellar doors open, and one of the guards walks down the stairs, and the woman turns around and says something in Elvish, and then runs up and whispers something in her ear. They have another small exchange, and the guard walks away, and she turns back to you. Apologies for the interruption. We have received word that you are indeed who you say you are, though this does not mean that we trust you, simply that you are a member of the Beholded Reserve, while the position that you hold is one of a respectable level. You have still entered into our city upon illegal methods, and with that, in the unauthorized accompaniment of the young prince. Now, what this means is that you are free
to continue communication with the young prince, as we are now aware that what you and your compatriot have been telling us has been true. Your emblems and certifications are indeed authentic, though you will be watched and accompanied by a guard at all times. Personal guarding.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
She gets up and turns her back to you and begins to walk away. And you hear one of the other guards. All right. Come along then.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off and just kind of. That's one hell of a woman.
And none of the guards seem to react to your comment.
I'm gonna be visibly sweating a bit.
Okay.
Pull on my collar.
So you are escorted out back up the stairs out of the cellar. And you see a guard standing there on the side, who, as you make your way forward, walks up next to you and then is a few paces behind you and follows you. And the escort kind of stops at the entrance to the holding area, where you see the door. Now, one of the guards enters in through the door into this holding area, and Patan, you see the white-robed woman also step in. Patan, you are free to walk among the city, though you are to be accompanied by a guard at all times. That is all. And she begins to walk away. The nearest guard comes up and opens the cell, and you don't see your belongings anywhere in sight. They were apparently not being kept here.
I'm gonna walk out and I'm gonna stretch.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna look at Grafford.
Grafford's outside. He's not in the room.
Oh, he's not? Okay, then I'm gonna walk outside then.
Yeah, so you walk outside, and one of the guards follows you out a couple of paces back, and you see Grafford standing there in the courtyard.
Grafford, how did it go?
She's scary. I don't quite like her.
She didn't seem that scary. To me, at least. I'm gonna give her a small pat on the back. It will be fine.
I sure hope so.
I mean, on the bright side, we don't have to sit in the sun anymore.
Yes, that is a definite plus.
You're instantly reminded of Adric, who had a plan to get the three of you out. But apparently that won't be necessary anymore.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't going to take him up on a plan.
Hmm. Well, at least the door is gonna be okay. I'm just gonna say it in a very questioning voice.
Just going to shrug.
Anyway, should we take a look around? I was ready here. I wouldn't mind looking around.
We have a guard accompanying us, correct?
They're a couple of paces behind you at a small distance. Let's say about 10 or 11 feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn around, and I'm gonna look up, and I'm gonna ask, excuse me, but do you know of the place where our belongings are?
You get no response.
Is Jeffrey still on me?
Yes, Jeffrey was hiding in your clothes.
I'm gonna quickly chase Jeffrey out.
I guess we should take a look around then.
Alright, you lead the way.
All right. I'll just. What do I see in front of me?
It's a pretty big courtyard, with lush green grass underneath your feet. Off to the left, you see the main entrance to the castle, and then a little bit further past that, you see some guards kind of gathered out and around, walking in and out of one of two doors along the other side of the building.
I'm assuming they probably don't want us in the castle. We are outsiders, so I guess let's head into town.
Alright. I'm gonna start heading to the doors where we can get out and walk out to the town.
Okay.
Yeah, is there
So there's a large portcullis.
Ooh.
And it begins to open slowly. And as you're making your way out, you turn back to see where the guards are, but they're not there.
Okay then.
And you continue your way out towards the town. And that is where we're going to change our scene over to Raldir. Raldir. Several small objects begin to lodge themselves in your back, and you feel jolts of electricity firing through your body. And as you collapse and fall down onto the ground, you see a figure as you turn your head in the direction of the door, in complete black clothing, with this sort of pin, this metallic pin of a rising phoenix of flame lifting itself upwards. And you see what looks like, you catch a glimpse of what looks like a bootleg version of your thunder cannon in the hands of this person as they run past your view through the door. Or rather, they never entered in through the door, but through the door frame.
Okay. Huh. Well, how am I feeling right now?
Like, it feels like you just took maybe about 21 damage.
Oh. Okay. Well, that puts me at 0 then. Or that would put me at 0.
Then, as you begin to fade your consciousness, you see that visage, and you hear what sounds like heavy metal footfalls. And as you come back to consciousness, you hear a familiar voice. Young Prince Raldir has awoken. And as your eyes begin to kind of flitter open, you find yourself in your bedroom, the vast and lush sequins of a king-sized bed underneath you, very comfortable and very soft, with
100 pillows behind you. That are spilling out and dripping onto the floor into this large room that's flooring is made of this sort of reddish velvet with silvery and gold embellished furniture all over the place. A grand fireplace with a large painted portrait of yourself hanging above it. And several bookshelves lining the walls filled to the brim. And as you're gazing around, doing the sweeping glance of your surroundings, you see the family help, Leomund, or as you call him, Birchwood, in his full gold and black suit, holding a platter of several food items of your favorite foods, and lays them on your lap, and as you kind of reach forward to grab one of them, you feel a pain in your back, and as you reach to touch it, you feel several bandages that have been wrapped around your body.
Okay, so can I remember what I saw exactly?
Yeah, like, I want to describe it if...
Yeah, okay, good. So is Leomund the only one in here right at the current moment? Or...
Yes, Leomund is the only person.
Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going to kind of raise my arm, just kind of to gain some attention, I suppose. I'm going to say, Birchwood, what's going on? Where's the assailant? I'm going to say, kind of grasping for words.
Master Roldir, I regret to inform you that the perpetrator of your injury has escaped the grasp of the castle guard. We found you within your workshop with several wounds upon your lower abdomen along your back, with several burn marks and stimulated muscle, simulating that of paralysis as if electricity had shot through your body. These wounds we've never seen before on any sort of local level, though. And he trails off.
And what of my friends?
Your companions, or rather your attendants in your return to the city have been questioned and searched, and 2 of them have been released into the city away from the castle.
And what of the third?
The third is being detained in our highest security as they are a threat to the city in all forms, and he will be detained until the departure of your compatriots.
Is it? And what of mother and father?
Currently, Master Silverleaf has taken to his study in search of knowledge pertaining to the assailant. Queen Silverleaf has taken to her gardens, and your beloved sister, the young princess, has taken to roaming the city streets as she does.
Okay.
If you require anything, of course, young prince, then you may only need inquire, and it will be brought to you.
Thank you, Birchwood. You are a true friend to the king and his family. I'm gonna say, doing a little salute.
Please, there is no need for such flattery. It is my honor.
Always.
And he does a sort of half bow, tilting his head.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to get up and stand to
Okay.
see, test the water a little.
You try and lift yourself up, but you can't move without feeling several shooting pains coursing through your body, and you realize that you can't feel your legs.
Oh.
At all. You can't move your
Right.
toes. You can't move your feet. Everything from the waist down is not responding.
Ooh, that is not good.
Please, young prince, do not fret. There is no need for you to remove yourself from your comfort. If you require anything, please inquire upon myself. It is best that you get rest before the druids come to repair this situation, kind of making a sweeping gesture over your legs.
Yes, of course. And I wouldn't want you to bother with mother or father right now, because I'm sure they definitely have enough on their mind as is.
I am at the behest of all of the Silverleaf family. If they require my assistance, I will rush to their side, granted that I am not preoccupied with the request of another family member.
Yes. Well, I mean, if I can't walk, I don't see much of anything that I need right now, I suppose.
It will take several days until Master Woodnot will be able to make his way towards the city with his druids to aid you in these times.
Could you possibly bring my companions, the ones that have been freed, possibly bring them to me, whether it be under guard supervision or not?
If it is your wish, then they will be brought.
Yes, that would be of great help.
Then, as it is the will of the Silverleaf, I am but to humbly accept. And he does another little half bow, and then he puts his hand up and begins to trace letters in Elvish in the air that appear in this bluish script for a split second before it kind of disappears into this dust. The message has been sent to the guards that are keeping surveillance over your compatriots, as you have put it, and they will be arriving shortly.
Thank you. That's all I require currently.
Then his head perks up very suddenly, and you see one of his long pointy ears, twitch. It would seem that another member of the family requires my assistance. I must take my leave, young prince.
Thank you again. I'm gonna say, doing another little salute.
If you require anything, please inquire. Simply speak aloud, and I will come, as I always have. Young master.
Of course.
He does one final little half bow, and begins to make his way out of the room.
He's
Oh, look.
So, after you wander around a little bit in the city, suddenly a bird lands on either of your shoulders. And you kind of look over to the side, and it's a small little silver speckled sparrow. And for a moment, you don't really think anything of it until it suddenly begins to feel like a hand on your shoulder, a gauntleted one. And you hear a voice from behind. The young master requires your presence in his private chambers.
All right.
Alright.
So, you walk about 30 feet from the portcullis before you immediately turn back around and start walking back towards the castle.
Oh, the guards are super cool. The birds.
Yes. I was just about to pet the sparrow too.
So, you make your way back towards the portcullis, and it hasn't even finished being completely dropped yet. And they kind of just stop it. It's about halfway down, and you just kind of walk underneath. And as you clear it, it just continues to go. So, like, Patan, you're kind of forced to duck underneath it, and you just walk underneath Crawford. You don't need to duck.
The second to
2'1".
last tallest person here has to duck. That's a feels bad.
So you make your way to the main entrance, and the guards are kind of about 10 feet behind you. And as you make your way in, you see a rather old-looking figure, which is a little off-putting since he is an elf, with a sort of whitish cloth bearing the symbol of Iron Grove. And you hear a voice. The young master requires your presence in his private quarters. Please follow me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll just nod.
He is completely silent, and as he is leading you, he walks off towards the right of the court, and continues walking for quite some time, taking several turns left and right, that it's very difficult to keep track of, until eventually you come to a rather grandiose door that he knocks on twice, then takes a pause, and then knocks on twice again. And, Raldir, you know the secret knock.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just tell him to come on in.
I'm gonna kind of have to speak up.
I'm just gonna tell him to come in. I can't really get up and do anything about it.
So, you kind of give the acceptance, and this gentleman in black and gold suit opens up the door, and you see a grandiose living space with red velvet carpeting along the floor, off to the side, a couple of steps above the whole area. You see a huge king-sized bed with beautiful, lush red sequins that are flecked with gold, and hundreds of pillows behind a upright Raldir. And as you're doing a sweeping glance of this room, you see the whole, certain walls are just completely covered with these dark oak bookshelves, almost a walnut color. that are completely filled to the brim with books, and to the right, directly across from where the bed is a grand fireplace with a huge portrait of Raldir hanging above it. As you both make your way into this room, the rather polite gentleman figure walks in as well and closes the door.
I'm just gonna watch him close the door.
I am going to break the silence, and I'm going to say, "Thank you, Birchwood."
He does a small nod and stands very still afterward.
You needed us for something, Ralph? I guess I should call you Prince, as they've been calling you.
No matter for that. You could just keep calling me Raldir. But yes, there is a bit of a problem.
Oh my.
And that would be?
It would seem that I am unable to move my legs.
What? What do you mean you cannot move your legs?
Well, I cannot get up, and this reason being I was shot multiple times in the back.
By?
Someone somehow got my technology, and I do believe it was a shall I say, enemy of the crown.
Oh my. This looks like this is gonna be harder than I thought.
Yes, it will be a few days that I will not be able to move my lower portion, it would seem.
Looks like
could have.
someone's gonna.
Alright, go on.
Looks like someone's going to have to carry you around then.
Yes, which will probably be Yizit if he makes it out alive. I'm gonna say that part kind of under my breath, the whole makes it out alive.
Well, there might be a problem with that one.
So
Is
I
it?
hear. You
Yes.
don't have to go on. Yes, I've been told he's incarcerated in our highest security prison currently.
Yeah,
This makes
that
sense.
is a bit of a predicament.
Which
Yes.
means you won't be able to move on at all unless
I
either I was to pick you up, or if I doubt actually if Grafford can pick you up in the first place.
Grafford's a strong man. I'm gonna say, kind of doing the okay hand symbol.
Oh, I'll try.
But that's, of course, if I don't know, if nothing else can be arranged, I suppose, because I most definitely would not want to be so much of a burden that I would have to be carried by one of my team members.
I don't mind.
But the bigger problem at hand means that there's someone who got my technology, and they are out to say, I guess, just attack the crown, and how they managed to get in here is still a mystery.
Did you see your blueprints in wherever they are?
I don't myself. I particularly don't know what to make of this whole ordeal here. I don't know how they got in, and I don't know how they've managed to get out, as we've seen how difficult it is to get in here.
Now, there might be another big problem here.
What would that be?
You remember why you were sent here, correct?
Yes, yes, that is quite a problem.
What if they got their hands on
Hmm.
their... You know what?
Well,
I'll say...
yes, Sero Kaldan, my guess was correct in that instance, that, it fell into the wrong hands. I'm gonna say he was correct at that point.
I believe, is it only one person is the question? We still might have a chance.
If it's only one person, then, I mean, shouldn't be too difficult to take down, but, I don't know. I feel as if that's not the case, but I hope it's only one within our city, at least.
If it is, then we should run the blueprints while we still can if they're still here.
Aye. Darius, weren't the blueprints not there last I checked?
They were not.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'm gonna. I guess I would easily remember that, seeing as that's the whole reason why we got here, or why we came. Can I remember that? Just making sure.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to ask me.
Hey, listen, like I don't know when I need to make a history check and when I don't.
When you physically cannot remember something, you will make a history check so that way I remind you.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna speak up and say, but that may be a bigger problem, because when I went to get said blueprints, they weren't where they should be. And I don't particularly know if they are here at all.
Well, have you informed the Crown?
Currently, no, but he was the one who originally told me about the threat of these, shall I say, insurgents.
Well, with this new knowledge, I'm afraid to say the kingdom might have to be on extremely high alert.
We need to find those blueprints and that's going. Well, we still can. You know exactly what's keeping you from moving, Alex.
No, I'm. You know, you said I was sitting up.
Yeah, you're sitting up straight.
Okay, I'm gonna take this opportunity actually to look at the like bandages, like how much I'm bandaged up. Kind of just take a scouting report right now.
From the waist up to about your sternum.
Hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of like point from where the bandages stop to where I feel they go down to. I'm gonna say, yeah, I was shot plenty of times, and that that electrical magic, I suppose, that's what I've used. It does some damage. I mean, the nerves. I don't know, I guess I just couldn't take it. But in this present state, I am not of much use. So
Honestly, I really wouldn't want to take you with us. That only increases the chances of more injury.
With only two of us, we risk a lot as well.
I hmm. I'm gonna. Is Birchwood still there?
Yep, he's stood essentially motionless next to the door the whole time this conversation was been going on.
Okay, I'm gonna look to him then, and I'm gonna say, Birchwood, if it would be not too much to ask of him, can you possibly request that my father is to come in here?
If it is the desire of the young prince, then it will be done to the best of my abilities.
Thank you.
And he opens the door and closes it behind him. And it seems for a moment you have privacy.
Yes, well, I definitely apologize for laying this big of a burden on you. This is kind of the burden of our whole city.
No, no.
Burdens come and go. Eventually, we won't have to worry about it.
I,
That's what being a team is about. We spread the weight of it and carry it on our backs in unison.
And if I have to, I'll carry you all everywhere. That's if I have to.
yes, please, only do it indeed if it must be done. But I've had a scratching feeling in the back of my mind. What if Saro Kaldan has something to do with this? I definitely, I'm not saying that he did, but I'm saying, the possibilities there.
So there is a large set of windows on the opposite side of the room, and you see a bird kind of on the other side of the glass land on the windowsill.
Can I open it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go over to the window. I'm gonna open it.
You open the window and the bird kind of just hops around on the windowsill.
Could I see if the bird will hop on my finger?
It does.
I'm gonna bring it inside.
Can I see what kind
Okay.
of bird this is?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Because I don't want her just bringing random birds.
Random birds.
Turns into a guard on her finger.
I mean, there's
crushes
already
her finger.
Oh god. I mean, there's already a weasel.
It is a 13.
It is a sparrow speckled with silver.
Oh, okay, there we go. So it is one of the good birds. One of our boys. Okay. I mean, I suppose I won't really say anything until it does something. I guess if it's just on her finger,
Yeah, we're all just gonna stare at the bird.
just kind of waiting for it to do something. Yeah.
It flies up and lands on top of one of the bookshelves nearby.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I'm gonna take. Where's Jeffrey right now?
He hides in your clothes.
He's still in my clothes. Jeez.
I mean, you can put that's of your preference. You can put him into his own pocket dimension if you want.
No, I wanted him to go around my neck, but right now I was just gonna put him down so he could just wander, and look around.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I'm gonna turn around from the bird. Now, on the topic of Saro Kaldan.
That's fine. That's sort of like the ones that landed on our shoulder before.
No. Kaldan had no trouble shooting me himself. Like I said before, I don't think he'd have any problem with sending someone to do it for him.
Now, if he was the one to warn you, and if he is as smart as he is to have built one, why would he need a handyman to have killed you?
Well, it may just be because he wants to kind of not do the dirty work. He's a very important person. in the world of inventing. So I mean, I suppose why would he want to do the dirty work?
The way I see it is he had one chance to have killed you already. Why would he pass it up?
I suppose that's fair.
Hmm.
And as for the new problem at hand, well, one of them, you've got sufficient treatment on your legs, correct?
I will have sufficient treatment, but currently I will stay like this. But I'm in good health. I'm gonna say, kind of doing the thing with my hand. All things considered, of course.
I'm gonna walk over to him, and I'm gonna ask him. Is he covered like blankets up to his stomach? I'm assuming.
He's sitting up, so it's up to like his waistline.
All right, if you will, please move the blanket to one side. I wanna see if this will work.
I will slowly do so, kind of confused.
I'm gonna try and climb up on the bed.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's big.
Make
I'm
an
gonna
athletics
help him
check.
up on the bed.
Make an athletics check. It's pretty
Athletics
tall.
or acrobatics?
Athletics.
I'm
Specifically?
Yes, specifically.
I don't like where
Wait,
this is
hold on.
going.
Can I try to
Edgy.
help him up?
Yeah, sure. Throw with advantage.
Give me a boost.
Give me that boosties.
It's
a
Wow.
four.
it's so slippery. It's so like the sequins are so soft, but it's like a silk, so like you can't get good traction to like lift yourself up. And Paton's not the strongest of women, so she can't like pick you up high enough.
She's not the strongest of girls.
Girls, yes.
Yes. Anyway,
So it takes you about a solid 5 minutes to get your way up.
While he's doing that, I will try to assist with my closer hand in any way I can, I suppose, by helping.
Super
pulling him up.
advantage?
You know, I'm saying it takes you 5 minutes, but you get up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Alright. That was a lot more work than I expected. I'm gonna brush away some sweat from my balding forehead.
It's the sequence, I tell you. I'm gonna shrug.
That it is. Alright. I'm gonna put my hands on his legs. Does that hurt?
He doesn't react at all.
Okay. Level 2 cure wounds, I'm gonna try it.
On his legs?
On his legs.
Okay. You don't need to
I
throw it
guess-
or anything, but
Okay. Why?
because
Nothing happens.
well, I
Dang.
mean, it's not like you're gonna heal his like fixing up his HP total is gonna help. It's not that kind of problem. So
Well-
you try and use your restorative abilities, and Raldir, you see him begin to cast Cure Wounds on your legs, and you, for a small second, you hope that it will fix you, but you don't. As he brushes his hands over your legs, you don't even feel his hand on your legs.
Hmm.
You don't feel the familiar warmth of the magic either.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up to him with like a hopeful look.
I'm gonna shake my head no.
Can I see anything that might be keeping this from his leg from healing?
Well, there's no injuries along his legs, but there are several heavy bandages around his abdomen.
Could there be some sort of like magic, maybe like keeping him from walking or no?
Maybe you should probably consult your friends in character and see if they know.
Nice.
You think it might be some sort of magic?
There's no harm in checking.
Yeah, I mean.
Arcana check his leg.
Oh wait, hold on. I can check if anything's magical. I can.
I can also check.
So can I.
I'm just
Well,
gonna-
both of you artificers can cast detect magic.
Yeah.
that's.
Which is where I was
but
going.
The thing is, I feel as if I probably, yeah, I'm gonna say, as much as I don't think it is, I think you should give it a shot anyway. I mean, it's one more thing to try. As in, that's a solid. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, so make an Arcana check.
Nice.
Well, you can make an Arcana check, but does Grafford want to cast Detect Magic?
Don't think I actually learned that.
You
Unless...
just get it as an artificer.
Yeah, I was checking for it.
Just a spell that you have.
Yeah, I'll just let's see if he's got anything on him. Well, afflicting him.
You cast a spell and you begin to look around, and you see several glittering books along his bookshelf. Because when you cast Detect Magic, it kind of just makes things glitter that are magical. You look at Raldir and you examine the bandages, but there doesn't seem to be anything magical about the bandages or his legs.
But what is magical is those strange armbands on him.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I almost forgot about those.
I remember them. That
the
didn't back for a while.
armbands, or as you put it, the bracelets, or the bracers, very magical.
Completely forgot about those. Well, was there anything?
Nothing.
Hmm.
I can't think of anything else it could be.
Yes, at this point, I suppose it's just time. I'm gonna say with a sigh.
Well, just time for a what?
It's gonna take a little while for the proper healing to happen.
Is the bird still in the room?
Yep, still on its perch on one of the bookshelves.
I'm gonna look over at the bird.
Okay.
Doesn't done anything but sit there.
Even I'm gonna look to the bird and I'm gonna say, what is your purpose in here? I'm gonna say, kind of with a big eyebrow raise.
The tiny beak of the sparrow opens up. I'm here to survey the two prisoners. And it closes.
Okay. Good to know. I'm gonna say with a salute.
I'm gonna hold back like chuckles.
It's a really tiny bird.
Yeah, I thought as much. It must be like a really tiny.
Like it could fit in your hand.
Yeah, I can hold it in my palm.
I'm gonna break down laughing right then and there.
Yes, the bird form, definitely not suiting for our very tough guards.
But he looks so cute.
Indeed, I'm gonna say with a, but anyway, I'm gonna say looking away slowly. I wonder what's taking so long with my father. I know Birchwood is fairly efficient.
To be honest, I thought the bird was your father until I heard its voice. I mean,
Uh,
I don't know what he sounds like, but I don't think he sounds like that.
fair assumption. Fair assumption. It's fine. I'm sure seen you've seen just about as unusual at your current stay here.
Uh,
I guess.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn away from the bird and look at Raldir. I'm gonna go ahead and say, with a weary smile, unfortunately, as much as I don't like seeing you like that, you're gonna have to keep put until your legs decide to heal up.
Yes, that's definitely not the outcome I would have hoped for. I mean, we have really just got here. Couldn't have any worse timing, that's for sure.
Hmm.
Agreed.
But now I guess we could at least investigate to see if we can find any clues when we can.
So, how? On another note, how did prison treat you? As well as prison could have treated you, I suppose.
I got tossed into the cell the first time, and after the interrogation, I just got the lock-in, which was nice. So I'd say it was decent.
Okay.
There was this weird
Um,
dwarf in there as well.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn to the sparrow, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, that reminds me. The the person next to my cell talked to us about breaking out, and
Oh.
Flies out the window.
yeah,
Oh my. It
That-
seems it's just all three of us again.
As much as I care for your safety, I definitely am happy that this man will not be breaking out, because as much as I love my friends, I love my great kingdom.
I can't fault you for that one.
I could have been rated away, except
Now-
I'm not a prince.
Yes. What all happened now that the guard is away?
He told me in weird hand symbols that a way to break out during the after every 3 waves, or yeah, I'll say that, waves of gods, there would be a time to clean out, and you would be brought to interrogation. I
And
guess he would use that time to escape.
yes. And what of our guards, or your hosts, shall I say?
Fine,
Okay.
Yeah.
not much of a bother. Although Pitan danced some ritualistic, interpretive style.
That was me
was-
trying to tell you the plan that he made, that I didn't quite trust.
Oh, um, I'm gonna hop off Raldir's bed.
I almost forgot that you're on my bed.
Yeah.
um. Yeah. Well. It's definitely not the circumstances I would have had planned for you to be introduced to our city.
It's fine.
And
Honestly, the interrogation explained most of it. We are outsiders, bringing some monster, as they'll put it, I'll say it in quotations, into the city.
And oh yes, how did that go? How did the interrogation go?
Well, that was quite the intimidating woman there.
Deep down,
It
I'm gonna
was-
have a little bit of pride at that.
I thought she was okay. She didn't seem threatening for a little while, but in the end, I was fine. When I told her about the thunder cannon, she didn't believe me.
Ah, well, I suppose it's her job to not believe outsiders. It's for the good of the city.
That it is. That it is. Now, back to the matter at hand. What would the plan be? Other than, I guess, letting your father know?
I really don't know. I mean, the plan was to just maybe I'm gonna say kind of hushed a little bit, was maybe to just make another copy of the schematics, maybe hide it away, and then tear up the original blueprints. But now that the blueprints are gone, I legitimately can't do much of anything with them, and I mean, I don't particularly know where they are and how I'm going to get them back, and we have no clue about where it might be.
Then we must investigate the area.
Yes, well, that would definitely, my father could definitely help with efforts, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what's taking so long. You know what, I am going to say out loud, because he has very good hearing, it would seem. Birchwood, what's taking so long? Hurry up.
You receive no response.
I would expect that. He's not magic, to my knowledge, or not a lot. So I'm just gonna hope that he got it.
It might take a while. Maybe one of us can check and see if they're close by.
I wouldn't agree with that one. Honestly, I think it's a lot better to get on their good side right now.
If I was with you, I'd say we should go. But yes, then that's where the problem arises.
Alright,
Because I cannot go.
maybe I could just peek out the door to see if they're there and walking. But that's up to you.
What about that thing of yours, that weasel?
Jeffrey? Oh,
Yes.
I could.
Can't you look through the eyes of Jeffrey?
Mm-hmm.
If I
I
know
can.
correctly?
I can.
You could always use that. I mean, might be worth a shot.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly. There's Jeffrey. I'm just gonna walk over to Jeffrey and I'm gonna pick him
He's
up.
been tearing up the red velvet carpet, just making in the corner. He's been tearing it to pieces and like gathering the little pieces and making a small little circle of it. And he's kind of like just about curled up in this little bed that he's made for himself.
Oh, I'm gonna look to the mess in the corner, and I'm just gonna.
Oh, I left out a part. Sorry. At some point during the conversation, he grabbed one of the smaller pillows with his teeth and dragged it across the room over to the little pile.
Seeing the mess in the corner, I'm gonna kind of like. I'm not gonna say anything, but I will definitely make a kind of face like, oh jeez.
We'll fix it later. Okay, I'm gonna
Hi.
pick up Jeffrey very gently. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna open the door slightly and put him outside. I'm gonna tell him what he has to do before I enter. Yeah.
What is he gonna have to do?
So he's gonna have to look around and see if he can find a Birchwood, I believe his name was, and the king.
Okay, so it opens up into a hallway, and this castle is like a labyrinth. So you can only look through his eyes for about 60 or so feet before you can't anymore.
All right. Well, for that 60 feet, just looked around to see if I can see them.
All the doors are shut, and you don't see Birchwood anywhere.
All right. I'm gonna call him back. It doesn't seem that around to what distance I can go.
Strange.
Now, I guess we can set up a sort of plan here. First, we'll see about getting your father to reinforce the perimeter of the city. Perhaps comb around.
Probably best, just to make sure no other intruders, I suppose, make it in, and no one who's not supposed to be in here doesn't make it out.
I'll nod. Pitan and I can also go and assist in that sort of venture, and I guess we'll have to see about more when we get there.
Yes, it would definitely help if we knew more about this enemy.
Did
Jeffrey
you...
finally makes his way back to the door and starts to like scratch at it.
Aye.
I'm gonna open the door for him quickly before he's able to make like any like.
You open it up, and he
major
darts
action.
between your legs and immediately makes for his tiny little corner.
I love him so much.
Jeez.
I'm just gonna.
But not before
smile.
he does like 2 or 3 circles around each of your legs, like thim, 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 and then runs over to it.
Oh, yeah.
Really hyperactive, furry
Yeah.
slinky that Jeffrey is.
He's like a what's he like? I don't know.
little race car?
Exactly. He's like one of those toy race cars.
Yeah, I might need to make a history check here. What did the king say? What the name was of the group that was like kind of
He did.
Who forgot to take
and
notes?
I was gonna say, and I wrote everything down except for that. Okay. I'm gonna put that on the back burner for now.
Or you could just make a history check.
I guess.
History check.
Wouldn't hurt. Okay. 8.
It's something about a bird.
Okay, well I know the pin was a phoenix, so I'm gonna
Up, and as soon as you remember that, it triggers your memory that he called it the Phoenix Rebellion.
Okay, that's a simple enough name. Okay. Yes, really I only know the name and the symbol. The symbol's a phoenix, and the name, rightly so, is the Phoenix Rebellion.
I'm gonna like look for something on my person, and then I'm gonna like pat, and then I'm gonna nice still have all our stuff. Well, I can't write that down.
I don't really need my stuff apart from my armor, but I could probably get that back.
You don't wear armor.
What?
Yeah, you don't wear armor. I don't think.
You're not? Oh no.
I didn't
Um,
know this.
You wear clothes.
At this, though, I will say, I'm sure it can be arranged for all of your things to be returned. I hope. But
What?
the question is, where's Birchwood?
I seriously want to check just for the safety of things. But all we know, there could be an attack going on and we can't hear it.
Hmm. Well,
I think
Somebody talk.
we're both waiting for each other to go ahead.
Yosh, talk.
Well, for right now, if there were something going on, it'd be a bigger fuss. Or at least I'd assume. Now, did you see any of the details of who actually shot you?
No, it was just a figure robed in black, and he had the phoenix pin, and it was a very poorly made, might I say, thunder cannon that he had. From what I could see, at least.
If it was that poorly made, then how did it put you in this bad of a state?
Hey, I mean, like I said before, it's a powerful weapon, you know? I mean, if he could be somewhat competent enough to read my blueprints, I guess he couldn't have been that dim.
Do you think that was just maybe a sort of prototype?
Possibly, it could be.
If it is, then maybe they were trying to get their hands on you, so you could actually make it for them.
Now, you did say you wanted to look around. That could probably be arranged. Is the bird back at this point or no?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Actually, now I think I'm gonna look out the window and see if anything's happening.
Nothing happening in the streets, but it is a gorgeous view.
I'm gonna stare at the window for a little while now.
taking the view.
Yes, the nice breeze.
Hmm. I could always call a guard, because I know if you were caught wandering the castle yourself, that may not lead to any good.
I am fine with that as long as I can check for us.
I do have an idea, but again, that might put you in a rough spot.
Well, I'd say it now. You know, it's better than nothing, that's for sure.
I do know a trick that would reduce your size for a small period of time, but it's too small of a window to get anything really done, now that I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, I could always carry him.
Yes, and also thinking back on it, I don't want to necessarily aggravate any current problems that are going on, you know.
I'll nod.
I'll check if you want.
But yes, I can arrange for you to be escorted around the castle if you need to truly check things out.
That would be nice.
Well, that would be minus the more important parts of the castle. We
Yes.
don't want any more trouble. That being said, if there was some way to get to Yizit out, then carrying you wouldn't be an issue.
Yes, but I feel as if the 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 crown, I'm gonna say, kind of is a bit weary about our old friend, is it?
Yeah.
We do have some alone time, so if you don't mind me asking, how are your folks?
Well, I suppose firstly I should ask, how so? How are they doing, or just how are they, like, person-wise?
Eh, I guess both.
Okay, well, I do believe my family is all okay. And so, well, my sister, you've met her before. Um, she's a bit, well, like you'd imagine a younger sister to be, I suppose.
A handful?
Yes, exactly. Annoying to say the least.
I could agree with that. Mm.
Um, anyway, then there is my mother, who was worried sick, and it's how you'd expect a mother to be after her son comes back after not being around for a while. She was worried to death. So she's just like any other mother, except with with the title of queen.
Uh, the day I left for the Beholder Reserve, I remember my tribe not wanting me to leave. Of course, I still did, but one of the children were driving on my leg as I tried to go. It took me a
Yes,
while to get them off.
but now you're here, so you know, thing things are for the better.
Hmm.
And lastly, my father. Well, um, he's a bit tough, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, being my friends. I asked if it would be possible not to execute you, and he didn't really respond to that, which made me a little nervous. But I'm happy you're all alive.
I am too. I'm scared for Yusuf Paul. What if they don't let him live?
I I for it being in my best interest, I'm hoping that they keep him alive.
That would be nice. And then we won't have to really worry.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, not really much to say about my father. He's just overbearing and tough. He was definitely worried when we came back into the city, for this exact reason that we may have been followed by members of that rebellion.
Which we were.
Yes, but his being worried is only good for the good of the city. So it's all in good in it's all in good knowledge for him to be as worried as he is and as tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have ended up like this if I didn't barge in. I'll take the blame for that.
It's fine.
Curiosity sometimes takes over.
Yes. Hmm. It's strange. I'm genuinely curious on how or why Birchwood is taking so long. I'm definitely worried for him.
Maybe he got lost in the castle like I almost did.
He's a veteran of these walls. I don't think he could.
What is taking him so long? Is it that he can't find your father?
He knows where he is. The two. He knows his location. Um, hold on. Guards. I'm gonna say kind of.
As you say guards, a swarm of about 12 birds all perch up on the windowsill.
I request to know where is Birchwood right now and what's going on.
One hops forward.
Huh?
Doesn't
Go
say
on.
anything.
Do you have something to say?
You see the head kind of look forward and then to the side and then look forward like it's trying to build up the courage to say something.
Please say something before I slap you.
Come
No
on.
offense, but I'm
I'm
not very patient.
I'm your friend. I don't want to intimidate you. I just want to know. That's it.
And I don't want to slap you.
A different one steps forward. The location of your father is not able to be determined at this moment.
Huh?
Out of the tiny little beak.
Oh. Oh my.
But
That's not
What-
good at all.
what of Birchwood then?
I
Do any of you know his location?
As you kind of gesture towards the windowsill, there's no reaction as you're speaking.
I think they only listen to it out here.
Yes. I will reiterate what my friend over there is saying. If my father cannot be located, then where about is Birchwood?
He is at your humble request searching for your father to the best of his abilities.
May I assist him in trying to find them?
Yes. Be aware that I'm going to currently give my two friends here permission to look around the castle. It is on my authority to do so. I'm gonna say, kind of making a sweeping motion with my hand to the birds.
As you make the sweeping motion, they all away
Well,
in unison, like a flock. It would be intimidating if they were bigger birds, but they're small, so it's cute.
well, that was no help.
It's like scaring crows, you know?
Yeah, and they all fly away at once.
It seems that they aren't able to help.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a yes or a no, but it'd be safer to stay here.
Last I heard, my father should have been in his study, which worries me to no end that they don't know where he is with the efficiency of our town guard.
How many are searching for him?
Well, I only thought that Birchwood was searching, but I mean, if my father cannot be found, I'm sure. I don't even know how many must be searching for him at this point. Um. Well, I suppose they know that I've given you access to the castle, so there's that out of the way, I suppose.
Hmm, I'd be a bit weary on that one. We got no acknowledgement, nor any deny of said information told towards them.
Hmm. Yes.
That causes a bit concern.
Maybe we should try to bring Lavia with us. Even if it's only for a little bit, we could always come back before the spell runs out.
Hmm. I'm gonna say doing the hand thing again.
Do you prefer us to sit around and do nothing?
Well, I mean, as I've said, in my current state, I myself wouldn't feel comfortable going. But I mean, I think if you want to take the risk, you could go throughout the castle. But I can see where you'd be weary with our, well, with our welcome of you, shall I say.
Mhm. Do you think we should actually go and assist?
Maybe, but I feel as if you might want a guard accompanying you, just so no mistakes happen, you know.
I'd say, well, if one of the gods we saw before, I don't know, we might run into a guard and ask him for his assistance.
Because I can call all of the guards in here if I must.
Here's what I suggest. Go ahead, call them in, and assign one of them to us.
Okay.
Tell him that we have permission, and we will go and assist in the search of your father. That, in my opinion, would be the safest choice.
Wait, Karapar, maybe we should leave one person here just in case someone tries to attack again. It's
I
always a
agree.
possibility.
I suggest you stay with him. If anything happens, Jeffrey can be sent to me. Or, you know, I have a better idea. If I take Jeffrey with me, what is the farthest I can go?
Uh,
60
do I
feet.
know how? You can go 60 feet with him and that's it.
That probably won't be enough. This is quite a huge castle.
You know, you could, if I might speak up, you could go together, and, you know, you saw there were 12 guards that came rushing when I had just said the word.
But
If
what
I
can we
really
do?
do need to be defended, I have the guards to count on.
All right. If I've seen what your guards can do, and I have faith in them. Just, I do suggest we do go with that plan.
Yes, it's just about probably the best plan possible right now. Okay. Guards, come back. Guards.
2 guards appear.
Guards. Okay.
2 guard birds.
2 guard birds. Okay. I'm just gonna pick randomly. I'm gonna point to one of the birds. You, guard, go with these 2. Go with my friends. They have my permission to travel throughout the castle in search of my father.
Lands on Paton's shoulder to get a little bit more height.
I hate him.
And I like how it's always all the animal stuffing. Alright.
And you, I say, pointing to the other bird.
It puts its wing up in front of it on its chest like me.
That's awesome. Yes, you. I request that you stay in here with me until this whole ordeal is sorted out.
It puts its one of its wings in front of it and like does a little half bow
Oh.
and lands on one of the bookshelves.
Well, I guess we're off. Karakter. Go
Mhm.
look around here. Don't get stopped again, okay, around here?
Yeah, nah, I always try, and be swift in your searches so you can report back to me.
I'm pretty speedy. I'll be back soon. As well as Karakter. And I'm gonna head out.
So both of you exit the room, and as soon as you get out, the bird on the bookshelf like lands on sort of the footstand of the bed,
Okay.
and the brownish color of the sparrow starts to darken, and the silver begins to fade as the feathers transition in color until several streaks of red are visible on its body. And that's where we're going to pick up next week.
Oh.
I knew what I should have stayed then.
Yes, thank you for watching. This was it was a little bit shorter than some of our other Arisen episodes, but then again, there was a lot that happened during this one. If you're new, then be sure to follow us on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch, or subscribe on YouTube so you can be notified when the episodes go up so you never miss an episode. And you'll always be up to date with what's been going on. And with that, that's going to be all of us here from D&D Universe. Thanking you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Bye.
Bye.